Welcome to the Life Solvers channel. I'm your host, Adrian. So today we're going to talk about Boris Johnson's election chances, and I'm not here to be political. I'm just here to talk about my predictions and talk about how I analyze the current political chaos in the UK. And whether you like it or not, I believe that Boris Johnson has the highest chance, I would say at least an 80 to 90% chance of becoming Prime Minister next week. The reason why is because the first one is because he flew back from his little holiday back to the UK earlier today. I think he landed in Gatwick at around 9 or 10 a.m. And think about it, if he couldn't get 100 votes from his MPs, why would he bother coming back at all? It's not as if he's really rich. He still has to go on his world tours, where he gets paid, I think, 100k per speech he makes, which is great for him financially and his family. So why bother coming back if he doesn't have the backing of 100 MPs? Something just doesn't add up. So that's the first, major thing that I see that makes me think that he's got the backing of 100 MPs already. The second thing is Rishi Sunak hasn't declared his bid for the premiership. It's a bit strange because he's gotten well over 100. The backing of over 100 MPs already. I think the latest figure, as of around 4 p.m. On Saturday, I think he's got 110 or 115 MPs already. So it's really strange why he hasn't pledged to run for Prime Minister. And I think there are some news coming out that the reason why he's not doing it is because if Boris Johnson gets 100 MPs, which looks like it's quite likely, Rishi's got no chance of winning amongst the Tory membership vote, because whether you like it or not, a lot of people still see Rishi Sunak, at least in the Conservative Party, a lot of people still see him as a backstabber of Boris Johnson, and whether he's a backstabber or not, he's the major reason why the Boris Johnson government collapsed. So a lot of Tories won't forgive him for that, and that's why he wouldn't get the vote of the membership, and that's why he hasn't publicly declared his bid to become PM, because Boris Johnson will likely get over 100 MPs, I think. And he knows it. The people in his camp knows it. Personally, I think that if Johnson gets back to become PM, obviously, quite a lot of the country will, hate him, because of all his scandals and so on. There's going to be turmoil, but in terms of, the Conservative Party's survival, I think Johnson might only be the choice, because, as I said just now, the Conservative voters don't see Rishi Sunak as actually a Tory. In fact, a lot of his policies look more like Labour. He agrees to tax rises. Whether that's the right thing or the wrong thing is another matter. I do think Rishi knows economics. Obviously, he's quite rich, to say the least. He's been the Chancellor of the Exchequer before. Obviously, he understands how finance works, and he could predict Liz Truss's downfall because of her mini budget. That's kudos to Rishi Sunak for pointing that out. But in the real world of politics, I think, at least in British politics, people value loyalty, and if you can't show loyalty to your ex-boss, you can't expect the membership to trust you, and that's Sunak's downfall. Okay, and I don't think Sunak will actually publicly stand for PM. Let's see if he does. But the reason I'm saying this is because Boris is likely to reach the 100 threshold. He still has around 48 hours to do that. He's back in the UK in full swing. It will be a very dramatic turnaround, to say the least, if he does manage to pull off this Houdini act to become Prime Minister again. I'm here to reassure you guys, though, that it's not going to be as bad as you think. When Boris was kicked out of office, it wasn't because of his policies, it wasn't because of his performance, unlike Truss. It was because of his misconduct and his style of doing things, promoting sex offenders to positions of high office. So the reason why he was kicked out is because of his morality, which in my opinion is less serious than poor performance like Liz Truss. So there will be some market turmoil. The pound is already dropping because it looks like Johnson has a very great shot at becoming PM. Long term, no need to worry. Britain's political systems, economic systems have been tried and tested and refined over 1,000 years. There's a reason why Britain is still one of the world's largest economies. I know that Brits like to be a bit more pessimistic, but I'm just here to reassure you guys, give some positive energy to you guys. Britain isn't as bad as some people think. It might look chaotic, but it's better than dictatorships, I can tell you that for sure. So let's see what Boris Johnson brings to the table. I really don't think Rishi Sunak can become PM because of the hatred that the Tory membership has towards him. But we'll see, and I'll keep you guys posted.